What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Let me get to the spot. Hey, everybody. What is going on? This is Plan Your Greatness, and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton. And let's get started today. Today is, as you can see, it is Financial Fridays. Yay! All right, Financial Fridays. And I've got a question for you. Do you believe you can change other people's money mindset? We're going to talk about that here on Financial Fridays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. Hey, we are back. This is Financial Fridays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. And we're asking the question because this is relationship week. So what we have been talking about all week long is things that have to do with our relationship. And one of them is the mindset of others and how your mindset trying to combine with the other mindsets. If you're not on the same page as far as money mindset or just the mindset of anything, when you're trying to get things done with other people, there's going to be a problem. So we're talking about relationships in the context of money and all these other things. But we're asking the question today, can you change the mindset or specifically the money mindset of other people? All right, so we're going to go back a little bit and where we're going to start with this. We're going to go all the way back to prison. Yes, this was over 20 years ago because as of May 31st of this year, it's been 20 years since I was released from prison. So we're going back further than 20 years. Now, when I got into the prison system, I had a very specific mindset on life, money, and everything. And what happened is, and I believe this happens to all inmates, but some of them don't get through the 5 stages. I believe we all go through the 5 stages of grief, and that is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Now, once I went through those 5 stages of grief, I started to recreate a whole different mindset, and that mindset moved over into a different frequency. It moved over into a different vibration, and then it finally created a whole new belief system. Now, once I got on that new belief system, that whole mindset, then I was on a completely different track. And what I noticed was that individuals who wanted to communicate with me had to come at me a certain way. And so now we're going to go back to the original question is, can you change other people's mindset? Okay, this is financial, but we're talking about relationships. So if you're changing somebody's mindset on anything, whether it's just personal or it's business or money, what I've learned is that if you want somebody to come into your space, you have to be consistent in how you're thinking. Because if people see that you're over here with one thing, over here with something, over there with something else, then they'll know, this person's not serious. But if you are steadfast in what you are thinking, what you are doing, they see your mindset is consistent. And if they want to communicate with you, they've got to come over to your mindset. All right. So again, when I went into the system, I created a whole new mindset. I created a whole new frequency. I created a whole new vibration, which created a whole new belief system. Okay. And because of that, anybody who wanted to communicate with me had to come over to my side. Now, I did also understand that sometimes I had to go over to their side, communicate with them temporarily, but I wasn't going to stay over there. I was going to just, all right, you got my message. All right, cool. Now I'm back to doing what I'm doing. Now, what that does is fast forwards me, because I said we went back to prison. Now we're going to come forward. One of the most specific relationship understandings that answers this question, can you change someone else's mindset or money mindset? And that is with my children's mother. Because now I got to take you all the way back to the beginning of when we met. When we met, I had just gotten out of prison in May. We met in November of that year. Now, I'd made a declaration to myself that I was going to stay clean mentally and spiritually for I don't know how long. And I was going to try to do it until I got out of school, which was going to probably be about 3 or 4 years. But we met that fall, and immediately what she saw was a person who had one foot in the streets, but was coming out of that and then putting that other foot into school and to the whole corporate life. But she identified, her frequency identified with the part of me that was still in the streets, but it was moving out of it. I wasn't dabbling in it. It was just, I was purging myself of all the things that got me into trouble. She identified with those. So as I moved out of it, that's when we began to go our separate ways. And then once we split, but we were co-parenting, what became an issue was I was on one frequency, I was on one mindset, I was on one vibration, she was on another. So we constantly bumped heads. So I had to realize, in order for her to come over to my side, one, I had to be consistent. I couldn't be flip-flopping back and forth. I had to be consistent. So I had to stay over there. So she knew if she was going to communicate with me, she had to come to my side. She had to change her mindset, her frequency, her vibration. Now, if I needed to communicate with her, I would come over to her side, but she knew I was only going to be over there temporarily. So I would communicate with her, boop, deuces, I was back on my other side. If she needed something from me, she knew she needed to come talk to me on my frequency. Because at the very beginning, if we had an issue and it was through text message, there might be 20 just very disrespectful text messages. There might be 20 phone calls, blowing up my phone. My daughter and I were talking about that a little bit today, on how when she needed something, my daughter was with me and she watched as I just got text message after text message after text message, call after call after call. Now, I get one call, I get one text. So she understands that in order for her to communicate with me, she must get on my frequency. And so when you understand that if you are going to, you can go. So let's do it real quickly. Let's walk through this quickly. That if you're wondering if you can change someone else's mindset, yes, you can. You have to maintain being on your frequency. So that means whether it's with relationships or it's with money or anything. Because what I've also shown her is I've shown her that I have a different money mindset. She has a money mindset of scarcity. I have a money mindset of abundance. And so when she communicates with me, she knows that I don't operate in that scarcity or that poverty mindset. I operate in a mindset of abundance. And so she has to get in alignment with that in order for her to communicate with me. And I'm saying that if you're understanding that you must be the change in the frequency if you want other people to change their frequency. And when you do that and you start operating in that space, you are absolutely 100% planning your greatness. All right. So my call to action to you this week, that is, look at a relationship that you have with somebody. It could be your children's mother, your children's father, somebody that you have to interact with on a regular basis. And that relationship is a little broken. It's a little antagonistic. And you're wondering, how can you get that person to, like, really, like you said, man, how can I get that person to see the world the way that I do? You can't do it by telling them. And my recommendation to you is, the call to action is, you begin focusing on making sure that you are in the alignment that you want to be in. And you stay there, regardless of whatever happens with them. If they are to communicate with you, you cannot come over to their side based on what they do. You come over there when you decide to be over there, and you stay over there only as long as you need to. Then you get back to your frequency, and they will then begin to understand that for them to communicate with you, they must be on your frequency. All right. So make sure that you are hitting the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Hit that notification bell. We're also on Twitter. We're also on Instagram. And we will end this as I always do every week. Plan your greatness. You know why? Yeah. Because no one else will. I will see you all next Friday on Financial Fridays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. You guys have a great weekend. And I will see you next time.
Was all alone, no one knew.